Well, hey guys, it's Bob here. Welcome to the kitchen. If you're catching this video, this is a supplemental video to our Fiesta Family Style cooking show where we are making birria tacos. And if you haven't caught that video yet, you're gonna wanna go there because you're gonna see how we start. But our Fiesta Family cooking episode, that is going to be where you'll see these babies in all of their glory. And let me tell you, they're gonna be delicious. So we're gonna start with these peppers. Now, I got to go to the Michoacana grocery store. Oh man, it was so cool. There's a couple in our area. Hopefully you've been able to find these. These are called guajillo and pasilla peppers. And we are going to cut these and get all of the seeds out of them. And you'll be able to shake it, and here there's some seeds in there. Now for peppers, the seeds are where all the heat is. So we don't want too much of the heat, but we're gonna want all of the flavor. Now these are dehydrated peppers, and so any kind of Mexican grocery store or something like that is gonna have them. You also can find these on Amazon, which is where I bought them before I found that grocery store. And actually we got to visit that grocery store and it was super cool. They had lots of our favorite foods. They even had some of my favorite crema from Guatemala. And so we're gonna take these peppers once all the seeds are out, and we're gonna just set them in a little food processor. Now, you use a blender, food processor, whatever you have, but you're gonna wanna blend these up. And we're gonna cut some more. Get rid of that stem. You don't need any of that stem. And then let's cut these right down the middle and get all of the seeds out. Be really careful with this. Anytime you're getting the seeds or the heat out of a pepper, you don't want to like scratch your eye or your face. Trust me, I've got a few stories where that has gone really wrong for me. And so just be real careful because these peppers can be hot. All in the seeds though. So keep cutting. Oh, and my oven is preheated. Don't you love? When did appliances come with their own soundtrack? Not sure. All right. Get more of the seeds out. Once these are all done, we're actually going to rehydrate these with beef broth. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've seen, birria tacos have kind of been taken over the food scene. I've seen people on Facebook Marketplace, online, all over. There's actually some really cool restaurants in our area that are now serving birria tacos, and they are kind of gone crazy. Part of that is due to these peppers. You know, peppers are traditionally really spicy, but removing all the seeds, these are gonna be super sweet and add just a ton of flavor. All right, this is our last one here. And we're gonna get ready to rehydrate. Now you can be brave and just go ahead and do that, or like me, like I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to heat, you know what I'm saying? I like to be able to be in control of all of my heat. So we're just going to ensure we get all of that removed. All right. Hey, this is called Cooking with Bob and Allison. Let's see where Allison is. Come on, baby. All right, so she's got the beef broth here. Thank you. Here, can you take these? Don't eat them. We're gonna take this beef broth here. Now you could do whatever you want. You could use better than bouillon, which is what I use. It's really cool. For about a cup of beef broth, you want like a teaspoon of it. We got 4 cups here, so we've got a good amount of the better than bouillon. You can also just buy beef stock. Whatever it is, you need to bring it to a boil, and you can see I'm getting a free beef stock facial here with this steam. This is hot, okay? But this is what's gonna rehydrate all these peppers. All right, yeah. Get it all down there, and then we want to just get all the peppers in the liquid. Oh yeah, see, it's hot, just like I said. Yep. right, get all of them down in there. And then we're gonna put the lid, because what the juice won't accomplish, the steam will, right? Okay, so they're gonna sit here for the rest of the duration while we work on the short ribs. Let's get over to those right now. All right, gang, so we're here and we're going to season our short ribs. Take a look at these. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Now, there's some beautiful marbling on those, and you see how nice and thick they are, and they've got a bone right there. And that's why these need to cook for a long time. It's gonna break down all those connecting tissues, and it's gonna render out all that fat, and it's gonna be really good. Now look, you might wanna trim these up, and that is fine. You're more than welcome to do it. We're not doing that today. They're gonna go in just as they are. But first, we gotta season them. So we got our kosher salt here again. Love working with kosher salt. And you wanna season from really high up just to get a nice even coat. And with short ribs, we're gonna coat all the sides and the sides, okay? Don't forget the sides. You gotta give the sides some love, all right? Don't forget them. They need to be seasoned as well. It's really hard to over season beef with salt, so don't feel like you have not enough on there. We wanna get a nice good coating of salt on all of them, and then we're gonna coat with pepper as well. Pepper, you wanna be a little less generous than with salt. All right, so don't forget the sides. It's a cube, so get it all around there. Yeah, this is gonna be so good. All right, now before we go with pepper, we're gonna turn the gas up on our pan, and we're gonna add some cooking oil, but we're not gonna do it until the pan is hot. Why? You remember, right? Hot pan, cold oil, food won't stick. That's right. So we got our pan here, and we're just gonna turn up the gas a little bit, and we're gonna get that hot. It's gonna be smoking a little bit, and that's okay. All right, now let's get pepper on all of our sides. I have just invested in a new pepper grinder, but it ain't here yet. So for now, this is the grinder. That's all good. We're just gonna get it on all of them. Nice and seasoned. And we're gonna add a ton of extra flavor to these, so we don't need to season with anything other than salt and pepper. We're gonna season later with a bunch of spices, including onion and garlic, so no need for onion powder or garlic powder, because we're actually gonna use the real thing. All right, so we got them nice and seasoned. You can rub them around there. Make sure you collect all that extra goodness. Make sure all sides are nice and fully seasoned, just like that. Beautiful. Now our pan is pretty hot, and we're going to add our oil. Now, you don't need to add a ton, maybe 4 or 5 tablespoons of oil, just enough to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. Now, this is a Dutch oven, right? This is a really solid, heavy-duty pot. If you don't have one of these, this might be a little bit of a challenging meal for you. So you're gonna wanna look for a Dutch oven. Now, they are expensive, gang, but I was able to find mine. We found one at TJ Maxx. I think we got one at Home Goods. So don't rush out to the website or the store, like box store, without looking at some of these discount places, because sometimes you can find some really good deals. You can also just straight up do this in a pot if you want, but you're gonna wanna make sure it's oven safe. So we're gonna let this heat up. All right, so we've got these short ribs browning. Hey Alison, come on in here. If you could just keep an eye, keep rolling them around. I'm gonna wash my hands, and then we're gonna go dice up an onion, because we're gonna add it to all of this rendered fat. It's gonna be delicious. Thanks. All right. Safety first. All right, so we're gonna dice up this sweet onion. Now here's the trick with sweet onions. The flatter the onion, the sweeter it is. Now I love to find them like really flat. Unfortunately, these were the only ones that were like close to that, but we're gonna use these today. So a lot of folks, when they dice up an onion, they'll cut this part off of it right there. We can call it the butt or whatever it is. It's the end of an onion. that actually is what kind of brings some of the tears. So if you can leave that on till the end, it does a few things for you. It holds the whole onion together, and it will help you cry just a little bit less. I am a sensitive man, in touch with all of my emotions and feelings, so it doesn't really matter to me much because onions always make me cry every time I cut them. But if we leave that on, it'll make us cry less. So we only get picked on a little bit. That's all right, don't pick on me, I'm bigger than you. All right, cool. So now we're just gonna dice this sucker up. And this is where it gets cool. Woo, look at that. Yeah. Nice and diced. Do the same thing to the other side. I've actually only ever taken one culinary class. When I was in high school, I took it at our community college, and it was actually a knife skills, and I got a B. So don't send any of this in to like any real chef or anything, but this is the way I like to dice up onions. All right, nice. And now we're left with that piece right intact. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that. And then we're just gonna chop these up just a little bit more. The cutting board's kind of small today. We've got some spillage happening. That's all right. I've got a dog. I don't know that my dog would like onions, but he's finding out right now. All right. We've got this pretty nicely chopped. You don't have to mince these. We just want to dice them up, and then we're going to take them over to our pot where we have been browning our short ribs. So let's take this over there right now. Look at that. Looks good. Let's go. All right. How do they look, man?
All brown.
All right. Awesome. Now come take a look inside this pot. We've got a lot of the fat has rendered out, and look at that. All of that brown, that is flavor. We want to get all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these onions in, and then we're going to use some apple cider vinegar to actually deglaze the pan. So let's go right in with these onions. That's awesome. Yep, move that all around. Sweet.
Good bits there.
Yeah.
Kind of deglazing
All right, let's go ahead and add that apple cider vinegar.
it. Maybe half a cup. What you do?
Yeah, this is about half a cup. It really depends on the size of your pan. Don't go overboard with it, just enough. Yeah. And that's gonna smell pretty strong there, but you're gonna wanna cook that until all that vinegar apple cider smell is gone. It might take, I don't know, 6 minutes or so, but these onions are gonna cook, they're gonna become translucent. While this is happening, we're gonna wanna go mince about 6 cloves of garlic. So let's go back to the board. All right, so now we are going to get some of these garlic, right? Oh man, I absolutely love garlic. It is my favorite food. Typically, when a recipe will call for like 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, I'll go like 5 or 6. So use as much garlic as you would like. We are going to use 6 cloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're gonna get these out, and then we're just gonna hit them. There we go. And these are gonna separate. We'll get all the skin off. Oh yeah. Already smell it. You know, in college, I rushed at a Christian social club called Dativus. And for one entire day, I had to walk around with a necklace of onions and garlic as part of the Rush Week initiations. And that was a really difficult week. Very smelly. I think it was just a day. I think just one day I had to walk around with it. I had to do some other things too, but I'm not allowed to tell you about those because it's a secret. Mince these up. Now, a lot of people don't do this, but I don't love the butt of the garlic. I call it the butt. I'm not sure what it's really called. So I'm always going to cut that off and then just discard it. Like, I don't want that little bit. Now, in the long game, is that really going to matter? Is anyone going to be like, man, Bob, this was a great meal. If only you hadn't left like the stem or the butt of the garlic on. I'm never coming, probably not. But I don't like it, and so I'm gonna remove it. But you do you. There's no right or wrong here. All right. Now we're gonna mince these. Again, be real careful when you're chopping, your fingers down, this knuckle's up front. And all your fingers out of the way. Just let the knife move by your knuckle right there. Oh yeah. So now we've got all of this minced, beautiful garlic. Now look, you can cheat and buy the already minced garlic. I'm not gonna tell nobody. It's probably gonna taste pretty similar, but we've done it the homemade way. That's right, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna go check on Allison and the onions and see how that's going and add this to the pot. Let's go. And how are those onions looking?
They are ready. Pretty translucent.
All right, pretty translucent. Now, the apple cider smell, the reason we're using the apple cider vinegar is gonna give it a really nice bite, but we wanna render that out. We wanna cook all of that out, and so if you're still smelling some of the vinegar, don't worry too much. If it's overpowering you, then just wait it out. Just wait it out. Eventually, all that vinegar smell will dissipate, and we'll be left with these like beautiful caramelized onions. You want to do the onions first because onions take a lot longer than the garlic. The garlic, if you're not careful, will burn. Okay, so we're gonna add our garlic right in there. Whoops, a little fire. And get that going. So this is gonna cook for about 6 minutes or so, and then we're gonna add the beef back in there. But now it is time to check on our peppers and see how they're doing. We're gonna add some other good stuff, blend them up, and then we're gonna be ready to get this in the oven. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 right now because it'll be ready about the time we're ready to put these in. All right, last trip. We're gonna go back to the peppers, then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna be on our way to some beautiful Birria tacos. Let's head back there. All right, and we're back at the board now to check on our peppers. Let's go ahead and get these off. These are guajillo and pasilla peppers that have been rehydrating in our beef broth. And look at them, they're not waxy, they're not stiff. They're real soft now. They are beautifully rehydrated. Now we are going to add some really good stuff that we are going to braise our short ribs in. So we're gonna start here with some fire roasted tomatoes. Now I'd love to tell you that last night I built a fire and I took these tomatoes that I grew out of my garden, I fire roasted these, but I just bought them at the grocery store, gang. So you can find a can of these at your grocery store, and we're gonna add these right into the broth. This is one can, about 15 ounces. All right, now we're going to add cumin. It smells super good. Cumin in here. Coriander. And oregano. Now remember, we've got garlic in the pot. We've got onions in the pot. The short ribs are seasoned with salt and pepper. All of this, gang, is just gonna deliver incredible, beautiful flavor. The last bit are these chipotle chilies. Now these are chipotle chilies. You're gonna look for chipotle chilies in adobo sauce. They're gonna be in a can or a jar sometimes, and these are packed with flavor. So we're gonna add those right in there as well. Absolutely beautiful. Oh man, gang, smells so good. So now we're gonna blend these up. You're gonna puree it. You're gonna get it as fine as you can. And this is going to be awesome. It's gonna be loud though, so here we go. All right, that should be beautiful. Now our onions are all rendered, the garlic, the beef ribs are back in. Now we're going to pour this stock over the ribs, and then we're gonna put it in the oven at 350 for 3 hours. Last trip to the oven, let's go. All right, so Allison, you getting those back in? Man, those look so good. So now we're gonna take our sauce and we're gonna just pour it all over these ribs. Let's check this out. Oh yeah. And they have just covered, and you wanna remove the blade before you cook, because that will injure you. All right, great. Now they have covered perfectly. Now, if the sauce doesn't cover your ribs totally, you want to make sure it does. So you can do two things here. You can add a little beef broth. Nothing wrong with a little extra beef broth. That's what my mom always said. Not really, sorry mom. Or you can add some water. However you want it, just make sure that your ribs are all the way covered. All right, these are ready to go. We're gonna put them in the oven, preheated at 350. Now, don't forget, this is a supplemental episode that takes place on April 16th, 2021, our Fiesta Family Style episode, where we are making birria tacos. So if you wanna see how these babies turn out, and let me tell you, they turn out great, you're gonna have to check out that episode. But the way you get access to that episode and so many more is by texting the word leftovers to the number on your screen, 937-230-7722. It is going to be awesome. We've made some pretty good food there, from an episode with steak and another one with pasta, Alfredo. You can check out that and so much more right there. All right, so let's get these in the oven and they will start cooking. It's a long cook, but man, it's gonna make the house smell so good.